And so this will be the first of several comp plan installments. This is the first time I'm covering it. And so the slides are, they're sufficient, but there's room for improvement. And we'll be doing it. So this is really a launch of the pay plan. And I'd say within the next 2 weeks, you're going to see improvements of the communication of it. Not necessarily the pay plan will change, but the way the graphics, we've got a bunch of small videos already created that we've not yet released. So what I'm going to do is go through everything, but know that we're going to have bite-sized chunks coming out soon. But we wanted to get this out. And until we get the other stuff done, this is going to be sufficient tonight. So I'm really excited to share this information with you. I truly am. This is it's a passion project for me and hopefully for you. We want to see you win. We're doing this because we want you to benefit. And we're pretty excited about what you've got available to you. So let me get my slides up on the screen. And we'll get started. Share screen. Here we are. Okay, let's find the keynote. Compensation plan training. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Overview. So a couple things to think about here with our pay plan. I want you to understand the strategy, not just the details. It's one thing to know details. It's another thing to understand why we exist here. So we've always wanted, number one there, earn bonuses for helping clients, upfront now money. I've said to everyone I've talked to in private conversations, when I started D.A.C, I wanted to launch a way for people to be able to make full-time money without ever building a team and without needing a license. So those were a couple of the prerequisites. And of course, I wanted to help business owners. So we're always going to have the ability for you to earn nice bonuses, immediate money for helping clients. Now, some of the services like Zoom, when we launch Zoom, it'll have upfront bonuses, but you're not going to get them for 4 or 5 months. So it's one-time bonuses, but they're not immediate. The funding is the only thing where it's literally immediate bonuses right off the bat. But so earning bonuses for helping clients is number one. Earning residuals. That's the other thing. As we talked about the rule of 200, we want to set you up. And, if you're making $100 a month, that's like getting 20 grand thrown into your investment portfolio. If you're making $1,000 a month, it's like having 200,000 thrown in your investment portfolio. If you're making 10 grand a month, it's like having $2 million in an investment portfolio, because that's all you'd earn on that $2 million. It's about 10,000 a month in interest income. So it's very, very exciting to have some great residual income to talk about tonight. Earn bonuses on your team's performance too, not just yourself. So number 1 and 2, you can make a full-time income being self-employed. That's the average real estate agent, the average mortgage agent, the average payment processing agent. They make some residuals, maybe make some bonuses, but they can't build a team. They can't earn overrides. So you never have to. But number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those are all for people who help take a leadership role of helping to expand our network of agents who produce. Okay, so just know that in the compensation plan, we pay a lot out in number 1 and 2, but we also pay out a lot of money in 3 through 7. And that's what I want to tell you about. So earning bonuses on your team's performance, earning residuals on your team performance, earning car allowance and expense accounts. You're going to learn about those tonight. Earning revenue sharing. You're going to learn about that, where you can get a piece of the entire revenue of the company and even earn an equity share of the company. And you don't have to pay for it except through performance. Okay. So a couple definitions. I need to put my glasses on for these. And by the way, we're going to be posting a compensation plan chart when this is all done. What I'm showing you is portions of that chart. So this is on the bottom of one of the pages. So here's a couple definitions you all need to know. Residual revenue. What's that? It's the total amount of residual revenue paid out by DAC in the pay plan. Okay, it's what we earn and what we pay out. Bonus revenue. What's the total amount of bonus revenue to be paid out in the DAC one-time bonus pay plan? Okay. Group bonus revenue. Well, if bonus revenue was one-time revenue, group bonus revenue is what? Is all the bonus revenue of your group. Qualifying volume. Well, that's the amount used to determine qualifications in the residual plan. Each service has its own personal qualifying volume, and you get to get a certain qualifying volume monthly by getting a customer. All right. Hang on one second. Hey guys, if you got your videos on, please, don't be moving around and stuff. Turn your video off if you're not standing there watching it, because it just becomes a distraction to the video and to other people. All right. I just had to turn one off that had some stuff going on. Qualifying. So let's go back. Qualifying volume is the amount used to determine the personal qualifying volume is how you determine what you qualified for in the pay plan. All right. So every service has a qualifying volume. Group qualifying volume would be all the qualifying volume of your entire group. Personal residual is the amount of commission. Your personal residual commission is the amount of commission earned by an individual on residuals, not counting any bonuses they might earn. Okay, so not counting any bonuses they might earn is the personal residual. Personal bonus is the amount of bonus they may earn, not counting any bump ups. Say, so personal residual is a personal commission you earn, not counting any bump ups to your residual, and personal bonus is any bonus you earn, not counting any bump ups to your bonus. Like amped up is a bump up to a bonus. Your personal commission is the 40%. The amped up is extra bonus. Okay. New bonus client. That's a new client that creates bonus revenue. Payment processing doesn't create bonus revenue. It only creates residual revenue. See the difference? We have charts in the end of our pay plan that's got which products produce bonus revenue, which produce residual revenue, which produce both. Renewal bonus client, qualifying bonus client. That is a client that produces at least $600 in bonus revenue. All right, so if you get a new funding client of a certain size, it's going to have more than 600 bonus revenue, then it would be a qualifying client in the pay plan. And you'll see why that matters in the bonus overrides and et cetera. Renewal bonus client. Well, that's any client that's renewed, that's not brand new, that produces some volume, but it doesn't produce 600. Okay. And then a personal enrolled agent is anyone you personally enroll in the business, even if you place them somewhere else. All right. So those are some definitions to kind of know as we get started here. Now, in our compensation plan up to now, we've always had bonuses. We've had DAC 1, DAC 2, DAC 4, and then DAC AD all the way up to RVP, right? And those were ranks you could earn just by doing funding, and you actually still can. And we still have those ranks, but we have other ranks for the residual. So I'm going to show you all those ranks and the qualifications. Here they are. We have agents, then we have qualified agent, then we have team trainer, area trainer, regional trainer. Then we have area director, regional, national directors. Then you go to RVP, then you go to RVP Silver, RVP Gold, RVP Platinum, and then we have Senior VP Equity, okay? Those are the ranks of the company. And again, you'll get a chart that shows all this, but let's go through how to qualify for those, all right? A couple things. You have personal qualifying volume that you have to reach. You have group qualifying volume or group residual revenue, actually. And then you have structure requirements, all right? This is how you get promotion in the pay plan. So the first one, qualified agent, is just $50 in personal qualifying revenue, personal qualifying volume. Okay, you have $50, your qualified agent. You'll see the advantages of that in a minute. Team trainer, you have to have 100. And then you have to have, see how it says group residual revenue is 250? And then right below it, it says structure requirement 40% max. Now, again, if you only want to get personal clients, you don't need this comp plan overview. Come back later and watch what you earn on personal bonuses and personal residual and save yourself an hour. But because the bonuses haven't changed and the residual on the payment processing and everything hasn't changed, we're just talking about it differently. There's other ranks. So this is for team building here. All these ranks are for people who build teams, right? This is for that leadership overrides. That's what this is all about. All right. So you need to have at least 250 group recurring revenue. And then structure requirements, no more than 40% per leg. What does that mean? Okay, well, let's say you recruited 4 individuals. And let's say The gal on the left has 300. The gentleman next to her has 30. The other gal has 100. And then the other gentleman has 100. What is that total? Well, that's 440 points, 440 volume, right? So your group revenue is over 250, isn't it? Yes. However, you only get to count 40% maximum of the requirement from any one leg. A leg is anyone you personally recruited. So you notice how, what's 40% of the $250 requirement? $100. So you can only count maximum $100 from any one leg to hit this first qualification. So the gal on the left, even though you get paid on all 300, for promotions, you only get to count 100 of that toward that $250 requirement. Why do we do this? To hurt you? No. We want you to have diversified balance in your organization. If you recruit me and I recruit Morgan, and Morgan does 20,000, we don't all get the 20,000 rank, right? There's got to be diversified width there as well. So what we do is, rather than saying you need a bunch of people at certain ranks and you need 5 grand poobahs to become a super grand poobah, we just say you need to do certain revenue, but you can only have 40% maximum from any one leg counting. So if you got one superstar leg, you only get to count 40% of whatever rank you're trying to reach. So in this case, 250, you'd only get to count 40% of 250 or $100 from any one leg. So now if you only count 100 for her, 30 for the guy next to her, then 100, then 100, or then 10, you only have $240 in points. You wouldn't be qualified yet, right? Unless one of those other 3 legs got another, actually the 2 guys got 10 more, because you can't count more than 100 from the second lady either, right? So one of those guys has got to step up to get you promoted. And obviously you could help them. And then here's the rest of your ranks. And what does it take to get there? All right. Team trainer, you see it, regional trainer or area trainer, regional, etc. You never have to have more than 200 personal qualifying volume. All right. But you got to get your group volumes up to move through the pay plan. And you'll see the advantages of all these positions in a moment, but this is the requirement, and you'll see this in the chart. So to hit the senior VP equity position, you need 2 million in group recurring revenue and 200 personal, and 40% in the leg. So what's 40% of 2 million? 800,000. So you can't count more than 800,000 from any one leg. So if you recruited me and my group's doing a million, you only get to count 800,000 of it toward your 2 million qualification. Okay, so that's how that 40% works. All right, now that you've seen all the ranks, here's the benefits that we pay out. Check this out. All these things are paid in our pay plan. On bonuses, we have personal bonus commissions and we have personal bonus bump ups. We have enroller bonuses and we have enroller bonus bump ups. We have leadership override bonuses and we have permanent coded group bonuses that you're going to hear about. Okay. All of those are available on the bonus side. Now on the residual side, you have personal residual commissions and you have personal residual bump ups. You have enroller residuals and you have enroller residual bump ups. You have 7-level residuals and you have a 7-level bump up pay you'll learn about. And then you have leadership overrides and permanent. So all of these bonuses are paid out in our pay plan. So do I expect you to understand all of it? No. What I'm going to say, by the way, incentives, car allowances, expense accounts, revenue sharing, and equity share. All of these are paid out. I don't expect you to get all this. It's going to take time. But what I will say is this. The activity of acquiring customers for bonuses is going to be critical. You're going to want to get new customers every year. To the extent that you can get one every month, will maximize your pay for you. Getting residual customers, you're going to want to get to at least $2,000 in personal residual revenue. If you do what I just said, get to 2,000 personal residual revenue and get at least one new bonus producing client a month, you maximize all the personal commissions and you can become super successful without ever building a team on what I just said, those 2 things. Now, if you do those 2 things and you build a team, all those other things you see on the screen, the enroller bonuses, the bump ups, the dumple bumps up, the dupa bumps ups, all of those are maximized. You don't even have to understand how to get them all. We do, our computer does. The point is they all have a purpose and a reason, but none of them mean anything if you're not getting personal residual clients and you're not getting personal bonus clients. You need to get both. Well, David, I just want to get payment processing. Okay, but by doing so, you're going to miss out on the entire bonus override plan. And your team's going to earn bonuses and you won't be positioned to get paid on them. Oh, okay, well, I just want to get bonuses. Great, you can just get bonuses, but then you won't be positioned to get paid on all the residuals of your team. Oh, so that's why I say you don't have to understand all this. What you do have to understand is we're in business. If you're a dentist, you're in the business of doing fillings, teeth cleanings, root canals. That's what we do. If you're a dentist, you don't want to do that? Don't be a dentist. We get customers. If we don't want to get customers, stop watching the pay plan on what we pay you for getting customers, right? We are business owners here. We are in business development. We go out and get customers who need the services and benefit from the services. We don't talk people in who don't need the services or benefit. We only help those who do benefit. But you don't have to understand everything I'm about to share with you. I hope you do, but know this, what's more important is I understand it and I'm looking out for you when we built this. We're going to retain about 15 to 20% of every dollar we bring into this company at most. The rest is being paid out in commissions. That's what we're going to live on, that 15 to 20%, sometimes a lot less. We're willing to live on that. We're willing to scrape with that. We're not trying to get rich on the 15 to 20%. We want to be profitable. We want to build a big company, but this is the way I look at it. The toll booth does well by having millions of cars, not by charging too much per car. We're going to get wealthy. David Rutz and D.A.C will do very, very well. And you, if you become an equity partner, will do very well, not because we take 50% of what we get and keep it like most companies, but because we pay out so much more than everyone else. And then we become the largest volume player in the market. So if you don't understand everything you see on the screen, you don't need to, but you do need to know this. You got to be willing to get bonus creating customers, and you got to be able to get residual creating customers. And you want to get to at least 2,000 in recurring revenue and residuals, and you want to try to get one new bonus client a month. Okay, that means it's stepping up, right? Now, at some point, you get to a point in the pay plan where you don't have to do that over and over, and you'll learn about when that is soon enough. But so let's go through this. We're going to start with bonuses. Here's all the benefits of the bonus income payouts. You got bonus commissions, personal bonus commissions, personal bonus bump ups, enroller bonuses, enroller bonus bump ups, leadership overrides, and permanent coded group bonus. Here we go. Personal client bonus commissions. You've seen this chart before. You make 40% of the bonus revenue. What's bonus revenue? On a funding, it's about 10% of the funded amount. Okay. Now, there's something called amped up. If you look at the bottom, amped up is if you got a qualifying client, it means a bonus producing client of at least 600 bonus revenue. That's a qualifying client. If you got one in the last 30 days, you're amped up. You would then make not only the 40% personal commission, but you'd get a 20% bump up being amped. So you'd make 60%. Now, on the bottom there, it says something called become double amped. How do you become double amped? You get a bonus qualifying client while you're amped up. So if you're amped up and you get a client, not only would you make 40% plus 20%, so you'd make 60%, but you'd give yourself to double amp now because you got a bonus qualifying client while you were amped up. So now you'd be double amped. If you got another client in the next 30 days, you're going to make 70% total. The 40% personal bonus commission plus the 20% amped and the 10% double amped. 70%. See the bump ups? And then if you got that client while you were double amped, that makes you triple amped. So for 30 days, you're going to make 80% of the bonus revenue of any type of bonus product, whether it's an ERC, whether it's actually you don't get it on ERCs, you only get it on funding. So amped up's only on funding. You get 80% of that funding bonus revenue. Pretty darn cool. And after 30 days, if you don't get a client, you're back down to 40. So by continuing to do that every month, any kind of client you get counts toward amped up, but the amped up commissions are only paid on funding. Okay, so now let's go to ERCs. Actually, I have an example here. You got $80,000 funding with 8,000 bonus revenue. You make 40%. You made $3,200. Okay, very simple. If you're get another funding because you're now amped up and they got $60,000, well, 6,000 bonus revenue, you made 40%, which is 2,400, but now you're amped up. So you got another 20% amped up bonus, which is 1,200. So you made $3,600. Make sense? And now you'd be double amped up. So there's some examples. Let's look at personal ERCs. Personal ERCs, you make 50% of the bonus revenue. The bonus revenue is generally 8% of the credit. So let's give an example. Okay, you help someone get a $100,000 ERC. That would be 8% of that is 8,000. So you have 8,000 bonus revenue. You make 50% of that. You make $4,000. Okay, so that's the bonuses. Let's talk about enroller matching now. Enroller matching. Enroller matching, you make, see how it says in the chart, 10%, 25, or 50% enroller match of the bonuses earned by people in your team. So if you are new to DAC during your first 90 days, you minimum make 10% enroller match. So if you recruit me and I go make $1,000, bonus, you make 10% of that, you make $100. All right. If it's during your first 90 days, you automatically make 10% unless you become engaged. Now, beyond 90 days, you need at least 200 personal qualifying volume. That can come from any residual service. You need 200 personal qualifying volume. It can come from a funding, but you need 200 personal qualifying volume to make 10%. After that, beyond 90 days, if you're not at 200 personal qualifying volume and you don't get engaged or amped up, you don't earn the enroller bonus till you do. All right. You'll see you can earn level 1 in a minute, but you don't earn this enroller bonus. You got to be qualified for it. Or you can be engaged and make 25%, which is the middle there. How do you become engaged? The bottom left, it says you can become engaged for 60 days by one of 3 ways. Number 1, you got a new funding or upfront bonus client, any type of upfront bonus client, you're engaged for 60 days. A renewal funding or LLC with bonus revenue of at least $600. So any renewal, as long as it's 600 bonus revenue counts. Or you're qualified at AD or above, including the 8 qualified funding. You'll see when we get to the funding requirements, you need to have 8 qualified funding clients or bonus producing clients and be AD to be grandfathered in as as engaged. You never have to get another client after that. You maintain area direct. You've already gotten 8. You now are engaged no matter what. You're making the 25% minimum. Okay. So that's pretty nice. Once you get those 8, you're there and be AD. All right. And that's engaged. Now amped up, we've already talked about amped up. If you're amped up, you make double match. So if you're amped up and you recruit me and I go out and help someone get a funding and I make $1,000, you're going to make 50% of that 1,000. You're going to make 500 because you're amped up. So make 50%. All right. So these are pretty standard. We've had this the entire time, but let's give you a couple examples. You have me here. I go out and get a client, 80,000. That's an 8,000 business revenue. I make 40%. Whoop, whoop. I'm excited. You are, let's say you're engaged. You're going to make 25% of that, 3,200. You make $800. Okay. And there's more definitions on the chart. You'll see that when you get the chart. Just explain some more definitions. Now, let's talk about funding overrides now. All right, so we already talked about funding personal bonuses. We talked about funding enroller bonuses. Now let's talk about overrides. You do not qualify for these unless you've gotten some funding clients yourself. You can't do this just by being, having payment processing customers, as an example. You must get some bonus producing clients to get paid bonus overrides. This is for leaders who've earned overrides. Now, if you look there, regardless of the titles, look at the red section. See how it says DAC 1 client? If you've gotten 1 qualifying client with 600 bonus revenue, that's qualifying client. So if you got at least one of those and you have 1,000 bonus revenue, you're already a DAC 1. That means you're making 10%. See that 10% below there? You're making a 10% override on my personal bonus. Not counting just your enroller. I'm somewhere in your team. I go out and get a client. And well, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a DAC 4 How would you become a DAC 4? You went out and got minimum 4 qualifying clients and 4,000 bonus revenue. You'd be a DAC 4. Doesn't matter what rank you are in the pay plan. You're a DAC 4 as far as bonuses are concerned. You're not a regional trainer. Doesn't matter. You're a DAC 4. Don't pay attention to the top. You can be a DAC 4 and just be a qualified agent. All right. You don't have to be. This is for bonuses here. DAC 4, you're making 30% override, open line override, not under anyone else qualified at the same position. So let's say here I'm in your team. I'm on your 5th level somewhere, and I go out and get an $80,000 funding, 8,000 bonus revenue. The client's happy. I make 3,200. I'm excited. You, because you're a DAC 4, you make 30% of all the personal bonuses paid in your team. I'm in your team. There's no DAC 4s between you and me. There's no DAC 2s between you and me or DAC 1s. So you get the full 30%. What's 30% of 3,200? $960. Now, congratulations, by the way. If there was a DAC 1 in your team between you and me, you wouldn't get the full 30% because it's open line. What's 30% minus the 10% DAC 1? 20%. So you would make 20% on me rather than 30 because a DAC 1 would have captured the 10%. All right. And if there's a DAC 2 between you and me, they would have made 15%. You would have made 15. So whatever your open line bonus, you're making 30, you get that. But if there's someone between you and me at the DAC 1 or DAC 2 rank, they get to capture that and you only get the difference. All right. So those are your bonus. You need to have personal funding or personal bonus qualifying clients, 1, 2, 4, 8, etc. Once you have 18, you never have to get another one. All right, you're totally, you can go right to the top, but to get to the very top ranks and make these huge overrides, you're going to have to get 18 clients. David, that's a lot. Yeah, it is. But you want to lead your team and get hundreds. We're going to be paying you hundreds of thousands a year when you get there potentially. So yeah, we want you to be a leader and example. I don't know if I can do that. Okay, you never have to get to that part of the pay plan, but it's required to get there that you get clients. Now we're going to talk about permanent ownership coded groups. Check this out. This is brand new. We've never had this. This is unbelievable. One of the most exciting things, personal, new permanent ownership coded groups. Here you go. Here's you and here's your team. And let's say this team got you to become an area director. So you're an area director. Let's say you've gotten the 8 personal qualifying customers totaling 8,000. So you're an area director qualified to earn bonuses too. Okay. You get it? Because you have the bonus qualifications and your area director. Now you're getting the purple, dark purple, 10, 15, 30, 35%. So you're making 35% overrides on any open line of any income they earn. But now we have something called permanent ownership coded group. See, the overrides you can get cut out on if people reach the same rank as you. They would start getting the 10 or the 15 or the 30 or the 35 you see up there in generation 1 in the purple. If they reach your rank, they're capturing it, right? So you can get cut out of that if they reach your rank. But if you stay ahead of them, you always have open line. If you recruit someone new, if you recruited me new tomorrow, well, that 10%, 15, 30, and 35 area director overrides are all yours, in the purple there, because I'm brand new. I'm not a DAC 1 yet or DAC 2 or DAC 4. So me and my whole team, you're getting the whole 35% plus enroller bonuses, right? Pretty darn cool. But now let's talk about the permanent ownership coded group. So everyone you recruited in blue there got you to area director. Okay. Now that you're an area director, you can build a new coded group. So let's say you introduce this gal here, Lisa. She's orange. She's in your coded group. The blue team will never be coded to you. You weren't an area director when you recruited their enrollers. But now you recruit Lisa here, this new gal. You're an area director when you recruit her. She's now coded to you. That means on Lisa and her new team, all of them are red. They're all coded to you. You earn that 20% level 1 coded on every single one of those people's personal bonuses. You make 20% of whatever they make. If all those people combined made 100,000 this year, all of them combined, you'd make 20 grand a year in that coded bonus. If one of them made 100 grand this year, you'd make 20 grand just on that one person. So this coded group, you can never get cut out of. It keeps on growing and growing and growing. Now your blue group over on the left, they're still growing too. You'll get overrides on them. You'll get residual pay, but you won't ever get area director coding on them, even though you're an area director now, because they were recruited before you were area director. Only the people in your team, now that you're area director and above, you will get that coded bonus on. Now you need to recruit a bunch of people to get to area director, of course. So you can't wait till you're area director to build a team. You get handsomely paid on the blue group, right? But now the red group there, you get paid super well because you get all the enroller bonuses, you get override bonuses, and you get coding bonuses. And this goes through infinity. You always get it. Now, if you broke regional director and you built a new team, that would be your regional director code, your new person. Your current red group, you'd never get regional director pay on because you weren't a regional director when you recruited Lisa. They're coded in. It never changes. You can never make more or less on that red group. It's always 20% code. And if that organization is making $1 million a year, then you're making 200,000 a year in coded bonus at that 20%. You want a big coded group, don't you? Yes. It's like I don't like saying you own that group, but you literally are being gifted and blessed with a percentage of their income. So your desire should be, how do I help that coded group? I mean, you want to help everybody, but that group becomes your responsibility. You're the only area director coded to them. There's no other person in our company that has area director code on that red group and never will. And as they keep recruiting and recruiting and recruiting and recruiting and recruiting and recruiting, and now there's 1,000 people or 2,000 or 4,000 red people, you're making the 20% of what all those people make. Now, one person down here, let's call this person Tom. Tom goes, I love this. And Tom becomes an area director down there in your coded group. Tom, now that Tom's area director, Tom can go out and build his area director group. So when he recruits new people, those are his area director group, not yours. But all the people that got Tom to area director are still coded to you, and anyone they ever recruit, they recruit, they recruit. So it's hard to grasp this. Just know that it's not hard for me to grasp it. I was wanting to put this into the pay plan for 5 years. And finally, now that we're parted ways with our buddies at Longevity, we can do this. This is what I believe is the single most profitable thing for you getting your retirement smack dab where you want it. Because when your coding bonuses are coming in, you can't get cut out of them. No one can earn your rank and cut you out. Even when Tom did there, he didn't cut you out on your red group and whoever they recruit. He just now is positioned to build his own green group that you still earn overrides on and you still owe the other pays. You just don't get the area director coding group on it anymore. Now, keep in mind there, you look there, when you become regional director, you can recruit a group. National director, you can recruit a new group and make 30% coded. And that's where it maxes out right there. So those are significant. There's some more details in the chart you'll read. All right, those are your bonuses. Unbelievable. We'll be breaking out a lot of scenarios on the whiteboard. If you watched the Friday live, you saw when I talked about coding and got all excited about the board. It's super, super exciting. Let me take a breath and we'll go to residual income. Maybe you can take a breath too. It's a lot of stuff here. Okay. Residuals we haven't shown. So coding is just new launch. Residuals we haven't shown you yet. I'm really excited. Look at this. Personal residual commissions. You want to get this to the point where you have $2,000 a month minimum personal residual revenue because you'll be making $1,000 a month residually on that. Again, that's like putting $200,000 in your investment portfolio. And you can do that with 10 payment processing customers. It's not hard. You can do that with 2,000 employees on the Relevate plan, one big employer, and boom, you're there. So don't start saying it's hard. Just find a way to do it. You know, I have faith, pray about it, seek the right conversations, get the right fuel inside of you, the right, not just willpower, but some why power and his power, and get out there and, you know, greater is he that is in me than is in of this world. And that's the same with you. Just get out there and have some faith that you can do it. I believe you can do it. And I think you should go for it and help people. I mean, it's like you're matching up. Remember that game where you'd flip cards and you try to match up two of the same things. You'd have to remember where they were. I forget the name of it. Obviously, I didn't do real good at the game, but you turn one over and okay, it's a little ball. And then you turn this, it's a triangle. Okay, got to turn it back. You turn that over. Oh, it's a square. You turn that over. It's a triangle. Oh, a triangle. I just saw a triangle. That's right there. Triangle. Hey, you match, right? That's all we're doing is you've got, oh, I got payment processing. And I wonder if there's any business owners out there who'd like to pay less on their payment processing. I don't know. Hey, are you happy with your payment processing provider? Would you like a new quote? Nah. Okay. Hey, are you happy with your payment processing provider? Would you like a quote? We might be able to say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of my payment processing provider. I'd love a new quote. Oh, okay. That's a match. Let's fill out your form and let's see what we do. I mean, it's not, hey, do you want to check out my payment processing provider? No. What do you mean, no? What are you, ignorant? Come on, man. I think I can prove to you that we'll save you money. I don't want to look at it. Come on, your device is old. I think you should get a new device. I don't want a new device. We're all happy with the device. Yeah, but I'm the customer and I'm telling you, you should get it. Your neighbor's got a better device than you. That's annoying. Nobody wants that person selling them in their restaurant. Don't be that person. Find matches for what you offer. And leave it that simple. Shake the dust from your sandals when you leave if there's not a match. It's that simple. Plant a seed. If it's the right soil, it becomes harvest. If it's not the right soil, next. It's no big deal. Don't add so much pressure. When you take the pressure off, you can make a lot of matches. It's really that simple. So go make some matches and build your personal residual commission. Build your bonuses. So you got personal residual commissions, and then you have personal residual bump ups. Okay, let's think about funding for a moment again. What was your funding personal commission? 40%. Is it ever more than 40%? You go, yeah, it goes to 60. No. Your personal commission's always 40 on funding. You could get a 20% bump up, but that's not a personal commission. That's 40% plus the bonus of 20. You made 60 total, but it's a 40% bonus plus 20 or 40% commission plus 20% bonus. Same thing with personal residuals. Your personal residual commission, you're going to learn in a second, is 100% of the time is 20% of the residual revenue. It's always 20%. It's never more, it's never less. It's always 20%. But there's something called personal residual bump ups so you can move it up to 50%. You're going to hear about. And then there's enroller residuals and enroller residual bump ups. What? Yeah, you can actually, just like amped up is a bump up in enroller bonuses, because you make 50% enroller instead of 25 or 10. Same thing with this. You can earn more enroller residuals by producing yourself more residual customers. You're going to see it in a minute. 7-level residuals. What's that? I'm going to show you in a minute. But if you recruit me, I'm on level 1 to you. You're my enroller. You make an enroller bonus on me, but I'm also level 1. So you also get a level 1 bonus. So you got the enroller bonus and level 1. Because not always do you keep people you enroll on level 1. You may give them away. You may move them somewhere. So you get enroller pay on them no matter where you move them, but you also get level 1 if you keep them on level 1. All right. Now I'm on level 1. I say, man, I want to build a big team. And I recruit 10 people. They would be your level 2. And those 10 recruit 5 people. That's 50 people. That would be your level 3. And those 50 recruit 50 each, or 50 total. Now you have 100 on level 4. And you see what happens here. And because this is free, a lot of our reps have recruited 50, 60 people. So if you have 5 people who recruit 20 people, you're at 100 on level 2. If it's 100, I'll recruit 4, you're on 400 on level 3. And if they all recruit 3, you're on 1,200 on level 4. And if they all recruit 2, you're on 2,400 on level 5. You see how this grows out? You can get paid through 7 levels and never get cut out of it. For 7 levels, never get cut out of it. That's your residual pay that you can get to the point where you just count on it. Personal and 7-level pay. It's just, you just count on it every month. You also have something called a 7-level bump up you're going to learn about. And then you have leadership override residuals, just like leadership override bonuses. It's the same way. You get it on your open line. You're going to learn about it. And then permanent coded group residuals. That coded group that I just showed you on the bonuses, well, we have the same thing in residuals. So let's look at these quick. Here's your personal residual revenue chart. Now, I can't zoom in on this. You'll have the chart, so hopefully you can zoom in, but I'll tell you what's on the top. It says personal residual revenue, $0 to $199. Your personal commission right below it is 20%. Remember what I said before? Your personal residual is always 20%. That's what it shows there in line 2. All the way across is 20%. Even if you're doing 2,000 personal residual revenue, your personal residual is only 20%, but you get a bump up. You get a bump up once you're at 400 in personal residual revenue, you get 5% more bump up. 600, you're at 10%. 800, you're at 15%. 1,000, you're at 20%. 1,500, you're at 25%. And 2,000, you're at 30%. When you total all up, you made 50%. Or 45 or 40, right? So if you stay at the 200 level, you make 20%, and do you get a bump up? No. If you go to the 400 level, do you get 20%? Yeah. And do you get a bump up? Yeah, you get 5%. So you'd make 25% of that 400 total, you make $100, right? If you're at the $2,000 level, what are you making minimum residually? Well, your 20% personal commission's 400, right? And then 30% bonus increase is 600. So you're making $1,000, 400 in personal commission, 600 in bonus. You're making $1,000 combined, right? Okay. Those are your personal commissions. So the more residual you have, but I'm going to give you one more thing. Every one of you wants to shoot for 2,000 on the end. Let me show you why. As you grow your personal bonus on this, you know what your bonus bump up is? Your enroller residual goes up too. The people you personally enroll, you make 20% if you're qualified, but that 20 goes up. See, if you're at the 2,000 level, you're making 50% enroller match now instead of 20. So if you recruit me and I go out and make $500 this month in residual revenue, if you're at the top rung there, you're making 50%. You're making 250. Well, I'm making 500. So your personal enroller goes along with your total of your personal commission bonus. So the more personal residual revenue you create, the greater. So now if you get to the 2,000 level, you are always locked in at a 50% personal income between the personal bonus and the bump up. And you're always locked in at 50% enroller match on your personally enrolled agents. So if you enroll me and I happen to make 20 grand this year in personal residual commissions, and you're at the 50% level, you make 10. So you can see we want you getting customers, but let me share with you one more thing. Here's your 7 levels. Look what you earn. When you're a qualified agent with just 50, you get paid through 3 levels. When you're a team trainer, because you have some structure, now you get paid through 4. Area trainer 5, regional trainer 6, area director 7. I guess regional trainer 7 too. See that there? Those are the percentage. So what this means is, let's look at area director for a minute. You're making 25% through 7 levels, right? That means every single agent on your first 11 levels, and there could be thousands of them. Let's just do math for a minute. You recruit 5. Who recruit 5? That's 100. I mean, that's 25 on level 2. Who recruit 5? That's 125 on level 3. Who recruit 5? 625 on level 4. Who recruit 5 is 3125 on level 5. Who recruit 5 is 15625 on level 6. Who recruit 5 is 78.5 or something like that on level 7. Thousands of people, and you make 25% of all of their personal residual income, and all of them have an incentive to get to the 2,000 level and make 20% of 2,000 or $400, and you're making $100 a month on every person in your team who gets there. If you just had 100 people get there and you're making 100 each, you're making 10,000 a month just on that 25% override there. Now, you don't have a big team, you don't ever make this, of course, but you can make it on bonuses, but you got to have hundreds of people in your team before those 25% bonuses really get large, but you may. You may. Now, 2 more things I want to talk about. See how it says 7-level bump up, 20 to 30%? On that last page, if you get to the 1,000 recurring revenue, write this down. If I get to 1,000 recurring revenue, 1,000 recurring revenue, personal customers and recurring revenue, inside of 12 months from my start date, or in your case, 12 months from now. So end of February of 24. If you get to the 1,000 personal revenue number by then, you get bumped up 20% on your 7-level pay for life. If you don't get it in 12 months, if you don't get to the 1,000 level or more, you never get that bump up 20% for life. So if your residual income is $6,000 a month, you could be making another 1,200 in that 20% bump up, 7,200. So by getting to 1,000 in personal recurring revenue in your first 12 months or 12 months from today, by doing that, you're giving yourself a 20% raise on your 7-level pay forever. And you never know how big or small that's going to be. Maybe nothing, but it may be thousands monthly, and you never know. So every one of you, if you recruit me, what's your goal for me? To get positioned at that 1,000 level within my first 12 months minimum, right? Yeah, of course. And if you recruit someone else, what's your goal with them? Dave, I don't know how big your 7 levels are going to be. They may be small, they may be massive, but you can get a 20% bump by going out and do what we all want to do anyway, which is get customers and help customers, help save them money. And we earn, we get enough customers saving money. It's not going to be hard to get to 1,000 recurring revenue. And by doing so, you're positioned at 20% increase raise. If your 7-level pay is 5,000, it goes to 6. If it's 15,000, it goes to 18,000. If it's 500, it goes to 600. It may not be a huge jump and it may be massive, but all we're doing is matching customers with our services. So we shouldn't get overwhelmed by it or intimidated by it. We should just get out there and talk, and with excitement and thrill, and share it. And let's get to the 1,000 level and get that 20% bump. Okay, that's first year. You want to do it, and you don't want anyone in your team to miss out on it. So we want to help you qualify for this. That's why I'm talking about the matching. Just match people with the service. I'm making it light and fun because it can be overwhelming to some, but there's no reason to be. In the end, we're planting seeds and looking for the right soil. Doesn't mean the seed's not good. Apple seeds are amazing, but most of them don't become trees. But you put it in the right soil and take care of it the right way, it will. So 7-level bump up, you just talked about. There's one more thing I want to talk about called compression. Okay, so what's compression mean? Well, you know what compression means in the world. Well, compression means this. Your 7 levels, not everyone's going to be active. So the long and short of it is we bump everything up. We push everything up, compress it. We compress it up to make sure there's activity in the levels. So if you introduce me and I don't do anything, I introduce Tyler and he doesn't do anything, that's level 2 to you. And Tyler introduces Morgan and she does something. Morgan does $200 in personal income. Well, Morgan's on your 4th level or 3rd level. You'll make some, but you're like, man, she's level 3. And Morgan recruited someone didn't do anything, who recruited something who tried but didn't do anything, who recruited someone, now you're on level 6 and they made $200, but it's on your level 6. And then they recruited someone who didn't do anything, recruited someone who didn't do anything, and they recruited someone who made 1,000. Well, unfortunately, they're on your level 9. You don't get paid on it. You only get paid through 7 levels. So what compression does is it says, if David doesn't do at least $50 in personal recurring revenue, I don't count as a level. Boom. This month, I don't lose my group, but this month for your 7-level payout, I don't count as level 1. Looks at Tyler. Did Tyler? Nope, he doesn't count as level 1. Morgan, oh, Morgan did. She would count as level 1. Boom. She's your level 1 this month. Just this month for the payout purposes, you made 25% of her $200 income. You made $50. And then it goes down, 4 levels down, that other person made 200. Oh, they're now your level 2. You made 25% of their $200 income. You made $50. And then it looks beyond them. Nothing. Oh, way down there, that guy made $1,000. He's on your 12th level, but he's only on your 3rd level right now because there's no inactive between. So what it does is it compresses inactive people out. It doesn't remove them permanently, just for the paycheck this month. They don't count as a level. They still have that downline. They still have that team. We don't kick them out. We don't move the revenue out of your 7 levels. So you will always have at least 7 levels of active revenue. Otherwise, it won't count as a level. As long as you have 7 levels deep of people who produce revenue somewhere down there, when it compresses up, oh, there you go. So that's your 7-level pay. All right. Woo! A lot of good stuff here. Let's talk about your leadership overrides. You don't need to read what's on the left, just know it's there. It explains it. But leadership overrides, just like in the funding bonuses, this is residual overrides. When you break area director, what happens? You now make a 30% override on your entire group. Well, you're doing 10,000 in revenue right now. 10,000 at 30%, 10,000 personal income at 20% is $200. You're making, I'm sorry, $2,000. You just got a 30% raise on that 2,000. You just got a $600 monthly raise and that 30% override minimum. So 30% override is on the personal income of your entire open line organization. You now make that. So in addition to the enroller bonuses, if you enroll them, in addition to the 7-level pay that you got, you also now get a 30% override on your open level. When you're a regional director, it's 35, national 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, all the way up to 80%. Is that right? I can't see that part of the screen because there's people, I think it's 80 or 70%. 70% you get 70%. So let's just think about this for a minute. You're, let's say you're a regional vice president. You're now making 30% of your 7 levels, plus you're making 60%. So you're making a 90% match through 7 levels of all the personal income. If your whole group combined is making 10,000, let's just say personal incomes, 100 people making $100, 10,000 they're making. Well, you're making 90% of that. You're making 9,000. None of them are making full-time income yet. You have 100 people making $100 residually, but you're making 90% of that. You just made $9,000 on that one little leg. And then when someone reaches your rank, if I'm an area director in your team, I'm now getting the 30% override on my team. You would get a 2nd generation 15. So you don't even get cut out yet. And this is open line revenue. It accumulates. If you're a national director, what do you make there? 40%. See purple 40%? You're a national director. But let's say I'm in your team and I'm a regional director. As a regional director, what do I earn? I get 35, right? Well, I'm in your team. So I'm taking 35 of your 40 on my team. I get that 35. You would get 5 on my team. But if you have another leg and there's no one who's an area director above, you're getting all 40. So it's open line. It's you minus what the person in your team is qualified for. And if I reach the same rank as you, I become a national director in your team and you're a national director, you still get the 15, 17 and a half. You still get 20% on my team because you get 2nd level override. So I'm making 40 on my team. Now you're making 20. Pretty spectacular. And then one more thing I want to share with you, which we already broke down how coding works. Same way as before, when you build your area director group, you're going to make 20% in addition to the 7-level pay. In addition to the leadership overrides that you may or may not get cut out of, you get income permanent ownership coding group, 20% that you never get cut out of on that area director code group. So remember I said at the beginning, you may get a little overwhelmed on the numbers. You don't have to fully understand them or grasp them all. This is all that happens. It's almost like this. You don't have to know how to run a marathon yet. When you train with a marathon company, they say this. What we want you to do is we want you to jog as far as you can before you get winded today. And we're going to see how far you went and for how long you jogged. And then tomorrow, we're going to try to do the same or maybe even improve it a little. Let's just see how we do. And then the next day, we're going to do the same and try to improve it a little and see how we do. So you jogged for 30 seconds and you went 2 blocks. Okay, we're going to see if we can improve on it. And it's all they do is keep working the system. They don't talk to you about jogging 24 miles or 26, whatever it is. They talk to you about doing your personal best today. And okay, now let's see if we can improve it tomorrow. Now, next day's a rest day. You've earned it. You've been doing this for a whole week. So you're going to rest now. So now you're going to jog the same as far as you can. Then you're going to walk for 20 minutes. Okay, all right, good. And you don't have to understand it. So what I'm saying to you is before I go into these incentives, you don't have to understand everything you just saw. except hopefully you caught some glimpse of, whoa, wow. Just like you go, oh, wow, that's the benefits of running a marathon. Oh, wow, that's the benefit. Those people, they did it. They said they never tried and they did it. And the person said, I just followed the training and I did it. And I didn't have to worry so much how I'd learn how to hydrate and do all that. I just knew that I was going to jog as far as I could today. And tomorrow I was going to do the same and try to beat it. That's all I knew. So I did it. And, 5 months later, I'm doing a marathon. That's how success happens. You don't get overwhelmed by the process. You just do the process. You don't worry about I got to know every single thing in this pay plan before I get a client. That's a great excuse to not talk to clients. But no one buys that excuse because most people don't understand the details of the pay plan. You don't need to. What you have to know is this. If I get customers, they pay me well. If I get bonus customers, they pay me well. If I introduce people who get bonus customers, they pay me well. And if I'm an example getting customers as well, they pay me a lot more on the people that I recruit. And if I build a team who does the same, I go through all these ladders and growth, and I get paid a lot more for doing the same thing that they're already doing. It's just really, really cool. That's all you really need to understand. You go, well, that sounds a little naive, Dave. Okay, as long as you can figure it out immediately and you get everything I've said, then great. Good for you. You understand it. But if you don't understand this, you don't need to understand how the knee joint works to use your knee. You don't need to understand how electricity works to flip that switch. You don't need to know how Wi-Fi works to know that I'm talking to you on a laptop, on a bar stool, on a kitchen table in Greenville, South Carolina, connected to Wi-Fi somewhere over a place I don't even own that's now talking to you and my voice is talking. You don't need to really get how packets of data are sent, do you? To use Zoom? No, you flip it on and you use it. So you don't have to fully understand everything you saw here, as long as you fully grasp, holy crap. They got the 7 levels taken care of. They got the overrides taken care of. So when I get a promotion, I got a raise on my whole group. And then, yeah, one day maybe they'll reach me. So now they got this coded thing, which as I build a group, I never get cut out of it. It's like I'm the personal enroller of all of them. It's like I'm the personal enroller of every one of them. Because they're coded to me. Holy cow. That's crazy. Holy cow. If I just build a good team who can do this, they're going to pay me all kinds of money. And they're still making 15 to 20% of revenue. Yep. Oh my gosh. And now Zoom wants them to sell for them. Yep. And Rocket Mortgage. Oh my. And they're launching consumer services. Yeah. So let's talk incentives. Car allowance, expense account, revenue sharing, and equity share. Exciting stuff. Car allowance. Become an area director, you get $400 car allowance. That's simple. Do you got to put your name on a Beamer that's going to be repossessed in 4 months if you lose the position? No. Do you got to buy a black Cadillac to be in the black Cadillac club? No. Do you even have to buy a car? No. Nothing wrong with any of those things, except all of them have negative, desirable side effects to a lot of people. You may not retain this $400 car allowance every month. It may be up and down as you're barely over the border of the qualification, right? Until you get there. We know that. Right? It's like having a plateau on your weight training. Eventually you have a plateau and you get stuck for a little while and boom, you get a new bump. It's the same thing in your business. Sometimes it's growing and flat and recedes and then grows again. Right? So that's just, we're not going to hide it from you. We're not going to put you in a position where unless you go lease a new car, we're not giving you the bonus. Well, that's what happens when they don't get the $400 because they fell just below, they're barely over 10 and they went to 9,800 and now you're not giving them the $400. So you get the 400 if you're qualified. If you're not, you don't have to spend it on a car. But let's get you to the point where you're getting even the 800 by becoming a regional director. And then let's get you to national director above and send you $1,000 for a car bonus. You don't have to spend it on a car, but wouldn't it be nice to know that if you did, you'd say, hey, the company's paying for it. My performance is paying for it. Yes, that's the car bonus. Now, we also have expense allowances. Once you become a national director, in addition to the car allowances, you get an expense allowance of $1,000 or $2,000, $2,000 at RVP Silver and $1,000 at national director. All right, these are bonuses paid to you. Expense allowances, I should say. You don't have to submit expenses and you don't have to invest this money in your business. This is just, we just need to know that the money is going out to you because you're qualified. Real simple. company. And now if you do want to invest in your business, traveling, like I just came down here, we just sent the Bank Breezy people out to dinner on David Allen Capital, and Brad is one of the guys who works for Bank Breezy. It's his birthday today. So we said, we want to send you out to dinner on David Allen Capital because you take good care of our customers. And guess what? It's the business expense. I get to write that off. This Airbnb I'm in, business expense, I get to write that off. And you may say, hey, they're giving me $2,000 a month expense account. If I want to travel here and get a room and host some people and reward my team with a day at Top Golf and it cost me $1,000, well, the company's sending me $2,000 expense allowance, and you can live with yourself a little bit that you're spending it because it's really free money be given to you. You earned it. And yeah, it's like any other pay, but it's called expense allowance. So why not use some of it, right? Now, company-wide revenue sharing. 2% of all bonus revenue and 2% of all residual revenue is put into a pool. Okay. And that it doesn't start until someone earns the rank. So we're not doing it every month right now and collecting this pot that boom, all of a sudden you get it. It starts when the first person qualifies for it. 2% gets put into a pool. So whatever that monthly revenue is that month, bonus revenue and the residual revenue, 2% goes into a pool. It's split up. Half of it is split proportionally with whoever's in it. So if you're the first person in, you're going to get all 2%. Okay. If you're the second person in, well, on 1% of it, you split equally. And the other 1%, you split proportionate to how your team's performing as a base with all the others who are in. So let's just say you and I are both the only person in the revenue sharing. And let's just say there's $10,000 to split for simple math. Well, 10,000 would be split 5,000 and 5,000, 5,000 in the first 1% pool and 5,000 in the second. The first one we split equally. So we each get $2,500. Boom. That one's just split equally. The other 1%, it depends on who's out producing who. Let's say you're producing me 2 to 1. You have double the sales I do, double the revenue. Well, then you would get double the rev share of that second 1%. So of that $5,000 divided by 3, I had to do a hard one, 1666. So you'd make 3,200, I'd make 1,600, somewhere there. Okay, of that second 5. So it's proportionate to your production. All right, we've got it figured out. Again, you don't have to fully understand it. Just know this: if you get in the pool and you're out producing others who are in the pool, you're going to get more of the pool than them because you're out producing them. And then company equity share. There's a lot of legalities to this. Okay, so that's why there's a lot of fine print. Here's the bottom line. Here's the intent. I could sign up, I could give stock to people right now. I could just, here, I want to gift you this equity. And there's nothing illegal about doing it. As soon as you advertise it, you start risking different states saying, hey, you're trying to induce the involvement of people in this state to get in your company. You're trying to induce. So we have to put all kinds of disclaimers here that if in your state, this is not liable, this is null and void to you, so that no one can come after us and say you're inducing people to join your free business that costs you money when they're there unless they produce. But we got to adhere to some laws. So we put a lot of disclaimers in there. And, you know, people are going, oh, we could game the system. We could stack here, all 10 of us. Let's start one position and let's build one position, the 10 of us. And let's get to the top rank. Let's share the stock between the 10 of us. And then we all go build our own position now that we're in the stock. We're not going to allow that. Okay. So we understand the spirit is this. If you get out there and get after it and you build a nice team and you get yourself to the SVP, senior vice president rank, and you maintain it for 12 months, you got to maintain it for 12 months. You're a solid contributor to our company. You deserve some equity. If instead you go, we're going to game this, we're going to do this, that's not a solid contributor. That's a gamesmanship that we reserve the right to not award it to anyone we want. Character, integrity, etc. I remember one time we were on a cruise and we were doing a convention at sea. This is unrelated to the pay plan, but we were doing a convention at sea, and we had some of our leaders who were just, let's just say, behaving in a way that wasn't, good for our leaders to be behaving. And we just said, hey, we need you to stop doing that. Okay, just please stop behaving that way. You're representing the company right now. And they took exception to that and quit the company when we got back. And I was saddened by it, but relieved by it because I didn't have to worry about behavior of our team. Well, David, they can produce. I'm not looking for production at the expense of integrity and character. I'm looking for integrity and character, and I want to reward it with those who produce with integrity and character. I want to reward it with equity that they get to share with their grandkids. I don't care how good you look or how good you can build if you're going to give us a bad name and you're going to tarnish it. That doesn't mean I'm sitting around judging people. I'm not. But if people are representing and putting the D.A.C logo on their chest, then let's represent professionally. General Motors wouldn't allow it. The military wouldn't allow it. Right? So if we laugh at the Secret Service for doing certain things, then why the heck wouldn't we laugh at our own business reps for doing it? Would you want to rep your brand, your family brand to be represented a certain way? Well, I wouldn't. So I'm representing my Christ. I'm representing my business. I make a lot of mistakes. I screw up a lot. So I don't judge people if they're not Christians or anything like that. It's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is we're not going to tolerate lack of integrity or lack of character. We'll be the most forgiving people of mistakes. People make innocent mistakes. We got their back. If those leaders would have said, man, thanks, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been behaving that way on a company event with company people. I was taking advantage of my positioning in this company. That's wrong. It was wrong of me. I'm sorry. They would have got a hug, pat on the back, and been praised for overcoming. But when they instead receive it, I'm glad they left the company. This isn't this company, it was a former company, but that's what I'm talking about. You know, when someone understands their mistakes, and including me, then great. But if you're gonna not do that, and you're not gonna be remorseful about representation, you're not gonna get free stock. It's real simple. So I know that'll all be deleted from this comp plan stuff, but just wanted to make sure you understand what some of this stuff talks about with character. These are the comp plan charts that show the volume of, how much bonus revenue is created on fundings or ERCs and all that. And here's your consumer and your healthcare plans and how much revenue is created. Okay. So you can look at all that and get everything you need to know. We're going to be publishing these charts later today. So